Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Kunanan, and tonight's topic is Ghost Protocol, Paranormal Investigations Part 2. And still joining us are Eric Asuncion and Nick Nangit.
Thank you,
Okay,
buddy.
so guys, in the last segment, we talked about the origins of questing, the nature and process of questing, the difference between human beings and non-human beings, and things about the other side, basically.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about your personal experiences as spirit questers. I'm sure you guys have
Sure, a lot.
chock-a-block
Yes.
stories
You know,
that
they're
you can
they're already
tell
about
every
2,000
Halloween
yeah,
or
yes. There are more than 2,000 quests that we have had. I mean, as a group from its inception to 2010. Yeah. Well, in my case, one peculiar experience that I had was a suicide case. All right, a girl committed suicide. She was I think 6 or 7 years, yeah, something like that. Apparently, she committed suicide because her father was raping her, and her mom was an overseas Filipino worker. All right. She also has a sister. All right. Now, after the father was already put to jail, so the mother was trying to sell the mansion. It was a mansion. All right, but couldn't sell the mansion. For some reason, they couldn't sell the property. So what happened was, they had a quest held in that house, and we found out that this girl wanted to convey a message. She has died about 6 years ago, but for her concept of time, it's like she just died now. All right.
So for the other side, I mean, the
Yeah.
spirit world, they have no concept of time.
It's a different concept.
So
it's
it
not
could have been
linear.
50 years, 100
Yes,
years,
yes,
unlike
yes.
us. Then
Right. So her message was for the mother to forgive the father, because the concept of justice for the dead is different from our concept of justice.
they're already, apart from the physical
Yes,
world.
that's
The
true.
necessities are.
It's not
no
important.
longer there.
Yes, not there anymore. So she wants the mother to forgive the father, and for the mother not to forget her other daughter. You know, at that time I was in between the mother and the sister. So good luck to me, as an empath.
How did you come across this case, Nick?
Well, because we used to have a website, the Spirit Questers, and there's a cell phone number there, and agents just keep on calling for schedules, and we hold our quests on Saturday evenings.
But okay, why did the agent in this case, the family here,
Asked for us
yes,
our help.
why was there a
Yes.
problem?
Yes, because she wanted to sell the property. She wanted to move abroad, bring her daughter with her, but she couldn't sell the property for some unknown reason. Because the reason there was that her daughter, the one who committed suicide, wanted the mother to forgive the father.
No, but did I mean, how did she tie up her inability to sell the property with some sort of unresolved issue with her deceased
yes,
daughter?
because
How did she
because
tie it up?
there are people from the neighborhood who could see the somebody living there, a child running, something like that.
So there was some sort of physical
Yes, there were
apparition or
yes,
manifestation.
right.
There was, a
Right.
haunting.
And even noises. Yes, a
And
haunting.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so that's actually what brought them to seek you guys out.
Yes, right. That's true. That's
Because,
true. But the message is really uncanny, because you see, the only thing that the daughter wanted was for the mother to forgive the father and to not to forget the other daughter.
Did the family have any idea that it was the daughter who was doing
No.
this? That
No.
she
No.
had those issues?
No.
Or that she had that message? No,
No.
no inkling whatsoever.
In fact, the mother didn't even tell us about the daughter committing suicide. We found it for ourselves.
How?
Well, we went to the place. We were able to see the daughter, and we described the daughter. We don't know if she's related, but we feel she's related, and she's giving signs.
You guys saw the daughter.
Yes, yes.
How did you, like a physical form?
Physical form.
You actually saw.
I not only saw her, but I entered into her shoes at the time of death. At the exact time of
What
death,
did
she
she look
strangled.
like? I mean, how does one see a spirit? Like you actually saw a figure of
the
appeared
spirit
in
that
the dark like that?
Yeah, it's more of like a silhouette, like this glass of water. I could see somebody there, but I could also see what's behind that person. So I know that's a dead spirit. Others could see her also.
And she was talking to the group.
Yeah, and she was talking to the group, but at that time she went behind me, and that was the time that I was channeling her thoughts, her feelings. I told some things that only her mother and her sister knew. So that was the time that I was channeling her already.
And that is a hell of a lot of proof right there. This thing
Right.
actually exists because
Right.
for you to have known without
Yes.
the agent telling
Telling
you
us.
about the background
Yes,
of the case.
that's what we do. We ask the agent not to tell us, to confirm. Yeah. So that we are not fraudulent. So that the person knows that we are true.
So what happened? You conveyed this message
Yeah,
to
after conveying
the
that, and
mom.
it was very hard for the mother to accept that. But after she had accepted it, she said, yes, tomorrow I'm going to go to the jail and talk to your father, forgive him. At that moment, this little girl moved to the light, the ceiling. And
So-
she's happy. And her form changed.
What do you mean? I mean,
She looks better. More rosy cheeks. Happy, more happy. Because initially it was very heavy. As an empath, very heavy feelings. I remember always carrying a box of tissues. Because I always cry.
wow.
Because the
It-
emotions of the
it
dead.
affects you.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. That's why we
as
are
a
drained.
medium,
Yes.
it affects you that much that
So much, yes.
that it actually
Yes.
emotionally you were brought to tears and all
Right,
that.
right. And not only that, we do get sick.
Wow.
We do get sick
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like the flu,
Yes.
or
Sometimes
you
you-
just fall ill because
Yes, for no
why?
reason
I mean,
at all.
because the
We have
energy
absorbed the
or
negative energies, and we give up something to help them. We give up something, our health,
Wow.
to help these.
No, I'm sure for you to engage in this kind of work, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of strength
Yes.
and energy just to get.
That's
just
true.
Yes.
I've never done it, and I don't think I want to do it.
Because there's a big responsibility to it.
But no, it's definitely a lot of energy, emotional,
Yes, a lot.
mental,
And
physical.
that's why we are supposed to be
Jeez.
financially okay. We should not carry our emotional baggage when we do the quest to be able to help others. If
So-
we're not ready for that, we cannot, right?
So everything worked out for this family.
Yes, right.
And the mom found peace, made peace with the father, and the little girl moved to the light.
Yes.
How about you, Eric? What's
Okay.
your story?
Okay, mine is the most significant, well, one of the most significant quests that I encountered or I was involved in was there was this missing person. The agent contacted us because the partner was missing. Okay, and she wanted to find out if the partner was still here or alive or not. So initially, we don't really, how do you call this, handle or approve such cases.
Why not?
Let's put it this way. It's kind of hard to actually pinpoint things. For example, like if it's a murder, okay, it would be hard to, like, we would know who killed,
Yes.
but then we would not, if we tell that person, or if we tell the agent, okay, that person killed, it wouldn't
Very
hold in
difficult,
water.
like, yes.
It wouldn't hold water in
Yes,
court,
yes.
second. And besides, what's the assurance that that person will not get back to us or at us?
Very,
Yeah.
dangerous ground.
But we
But-
can only give clues.
Yeah, we can give clues.
Okay.
Yes. So anyway, going back to that particular quest. So it was from down south. Okay, so the partner flew here, stayed in one of the hotels here. Okay, and during the quest itself, so we formed a circle. We were holding hands like this. Then suddenly we were all moving in one direction. We felt it was like an earthquake. So we were at the midst of like, what? Should we stop this? We were all looking
I
at
mean,
like
your bodies were moving.
we're moving
I
all at the
mean,
same time.
Literally.
And no one, it wasn't something that you guys were doing. It was,
No.
something was moving you
Yes.
around. You could feel. I mean,
We could
you could
feel
feel
it.
someone swaying you around like
Yes.
that, like a
Initially,
hand.
it was like an earthquake.
Yeah.
You start like that, but
Yeah.
it becomes stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
That's the time that okay, should we still continue or not? We were like looking at each
Maybe it was an
other.
earthquake.
No, but of course, but we checked. There was a chandelier nearby. It wasn't moving. That's the first thing. Second, we were seated right beside this table. On top of the table were teacups. They were not moving at all. So how can it be that we were all moving at the same direction? Okay, it becomes stronger and stronger, but there's no proof of an earthquake. And afterwards, when the quest was done, we actually asked the people, like we ordered for room service. We asked the waiter, "Boss, lumindol ba?" "Sir, hindi ko, umuulan lang." Okay, so that was it. Then we asked other people if they felt something, who were outside the quest. No.
What was the
nothing.
explanation for the movement? It was because of a spirit that wasn't at peace. I mean, what
Okay.
was causing it?
Okay. The spirit that the missing person was already
Dead.
dead. Okay, and apparently the body was stuffed inside a metal container and thrown into the sea. Hence the movement.
Yes. So we were mimicking the state
The
of the
state.
dead at that moment.
But you had
At
no
sea.
contact with this. With the dead person. I mean, there was no clue as to what happened to her. I mean, you only found out about what happened to her after.
Yes.
So during the quest, nothing.
Nothing.
No
The
communication with her. Nothing at all.
The
just
only
this
thing that
movement.
we knew was that that person was missing. Okay? And the last time that the person was seen was in a suburban area. And that was it.
Did you guys have a premonition that perhaps something bad had happened to her when you had
During
this? Yes.
during the quest itself, we were able to get clues.
Okay.
That's something that 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 the age, or rather the partner was not here in this plane anymore. Had already moved on.
Why is that? How come in other quests, I mean, it's very clear, let's say in your case, the little girl actually, you saw her and she
Yes.
actually conveyed a message. Why is it in this case of the partner who was killed and stuffed in the drum and sunk in the bay, how come there was no message,
yeah.
you
There's
didn't
no
see it?
consistency,
Yes,
right?
How come?
Yeah, because we all, as I mentioned, we all have psychic abilities, and our psychic abilities vary depending on its level of development. So some of us are more psychically open than others, and some of us are psychically open not all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're open just intermittently or at certain times of the year. We are most prone to having our third eye open when we are sick, or when we are, that state of half awake, half asleep. You see, when we wake up in the morning and then suddenly we feel, I think somebody was here, and then nobody was there.
Or it's like
Yeah.
when we were falling asleep,
Right.
Yeah.
halfway between
Why is that?
falling asleep and
I mean, what is that?
Alpha
that's the
state.
alpha state.
That's
The alpha state you're talking about.
Yes, the alpha state. So in our case, it's just that we are the members of the quest, the questors who were there during that quest circle, are open in the sense that they could really see, they could talk. But in their case, it was more of the feeling, the sense of feeling, the psychic feeling was the one that's so attuned. That's why they could all feel the movement at sea.
of the waves
Yes.
and maybe
And
rocking
sometimes,
the drum
right.
about.
And so it's so hard for the dead to communicate. Probably that person is in a barrel, a container. Difficult to communicate because nobody can hear. So the best way is just to move. So
Yeah.
that form of action is the one that is communicated to the spirit questors.
Now, let's say cases about ordinary people
Yes.
who have had extraordinary experiences in their
Yeah.
homes. Do you have
Yes.
any experience with
Right.
that maybe
Like
a family who
moving to a new house.
Yes,
Yeah,
so-
I've had that experience. A family moved to a new house.
brand new house?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Moved to let's say it's a condominium. Okay, it's a building.
Okay.
So the family bought a unit and wanted to stay in that house, but apparently, they could see things, or the maids who were there tasked to clean the place could see movements or hear sounds. So we checked the place, and we found out that it has something to do with the elementals who are residing way below the ground where that building was constructed. So the elementals, they are earth spirits. The place that their abode, okay, was desecrated.
Yeah.
So that's why they want now to be recognized for that. So when we held that quest, I literally went down under the earth, and we met there, the other questors,
To the basement.
to the
maybe.
below the basement.
Below the basement, yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because one questor left me alone. That's why I said, "How come I saw you and then you left me?" He said, "No, kaya mo na yan. You can do that all by yourself." So I could,
Okay. Did everyone in that building have the same experience?
no,
Because
not all, not all.
Why is that? I mean, if
Well,
it's the ground, then shouldn't
yeah.
they be in all
So
the
many
units?
reasons. One is probably the others are not open psychically. So, or probably they're just quiet. They dismiss it. But it so happened that the family moving in here is into these things. They are into feng shui. They're into all this paranormal stuff. That's why
Okay.
they're more open.
And-
And they
and-
have maids who are from the province who are also open.
And they were noticing all sorts of weird things happening.
yes,
and
weird
that's why
things they could
call-
hear,
Yeah.
they could see. So those things.
Was it resolved?
Yes, because apparently the earth elementals, they look like oblong shape, and they're grisly. They're full of fur. They just wanted an offering, a gift. something like shiny objects or rice or tobacco,
Okay.
and that would appease them. And we asked the family to create a mini garden on outside their condominium unit,
Okay.
to let these earth elementals be able to visit them and not bother them.
And after they did that, they put the offering, the little
Yes,
garden.
right.
It
It was
stopped.
okay. Yes,
It stopped completely.
Yes, it stopped already.
Wow.
Yes.
Because no, it's different techniques to deal with things like
Yeah.
this.
Right.
Like if they had approached the priest would just say,
Just
a
pray.
Catholic priest, no offense to the Catholic
Yeah,
Church, would have said, okay, magdasal na lang
Yeah,
tayo,
just
just
pray.
continue
Yeah.
praying, but
Yeah.
then the problem doesn't go away.
Yes.
Because the solution is, as you said,
Yes.
something
You see, we believe
completely
that there's
different.
so much knowledge that has been concealed from us today, and not everything that is presented to us is true or real.
Yes.
We're just fortunate enough that we have access to this kind of knowledge, and we have had these experiences.
Let's talk about dreams.
Okay.
Because dreams is, dreams have always been,
Yes.
people have believed that dreams have been connected to the other world, that the other side, some people believe that the other side uses dreams
Yes.
to convey messages.
Yes, true.
to
That's
the people.
true.
Is that real?
Yes, that's real. Because let's put it this way: when you sleep, you are in the alpha mode, or alpha level rather, which is essentially is the same plane as where they are. So it's much easier to communicate rather than you, like let's say if you're in the lower level, okay, if you're let's say in the beta or whatever level, you would have to go up to communicate with them, or they would have to go down to communicate with you. But if you're asleep, you're essentially on the same plane. So it's a lot easier for them to communicate with you if they want to relay something to you.
Let's define first alpha beta level. What does this mean exactly?
Alpha is the relaxed state.
Okay, so it's the relaxed state,
Yes.
and beta is the when you're
Yeah.
Now how come for the spirit world it's really that I mean, this is where the spirit world and the physical world can meet in this alpha level.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. So some people would say, like, if someone has a deceased relative or family member and they dream about this person, some people would say that maybe, it's just my inner, my subconscious manifesting itself through my
Okay.
dreams. What do you guys have to say about that?
No, not necessarily.
Necessarily,
Not necessarily.
It depends. For us, what we believe is how recurring is it? If it recurs like more than 5 or 6 times, then it's something that you should be, I would say worry, but take note of it. But if it just happens once or twice,
That's
nothing really.
Right.
Don't need to panic. But if it happens, as I mentioned, 5 or 6 times or more, that's the reason. That's the time that you have to, take note of it. Something is,
Needs to be resolved.
Yes.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
or there's a message that needs to be relayed to you.
Now, dreams are weird. Like sometimes, the context is weird.
Yes.
The images are weird.
Uh-huh.
How does one interpret a dream?
They're all symbolical. They're all symbolical.
Why
Yeah.
doesn't the dead person just come to us in a dream and just give us a direct message? Like, hey.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. Sometimes they
like
do that. Yes, like there are some, the dead will tell them, take care of this property. Literally, take care of this. So that could happen also, because during your state of being asleep, your defenses are down. Okay, it's better to communicate with the dead, and even during our quests, many of the dead would rather talk to the living by way of during their sleeping state. They prefer that because they know that the living are afraid. Imagine if the dead will just appear before you and talk to
Exactly.
you.
Uh-huh.
It will freak you out, right?
Exactly.
Maybe you lose your mind. Or
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you talk to that person, then your office mates or whoever sees you will say, you're crazy because you're talking to a blank wall, or who's
Yeah.
that person you're talking to, right?
Like in The Sixth Sense, the movie. There's some
Right.
truth to that. I mean,
Yes.
based on what you're saying,
Yes.
that
Those
they
are very
would-
good movies.
right? I mean, they would actually talk when they were asleep. They'd be talking, and that's when
Right.
the spirit would talk
Yes,
to the
right.
person.
There's
Actually-
also this film recently, a local film which I really like, The Road.
Okay.
The Road.
Yeah,
Have you seen
yeah.
that? Yeah, it's a very good movie. It's actually one way by which the spirits do communicate. In one scene, the sister was talking to the other one. The audience would think that they are really talking to each other, but no. The sister, the living one, is actually telling her emotions, and it's just an affirmation of what the dead was saying. So it's like that. So if you get the chance, you can watch that film.
What about bangungot? What do you guys have to say about bangungot?
Nightmares? Well, So
I
many
mean,
things. Well,
some people who have been near Bangungot, or nearly,
okay.
have gone almost
you see,
there.
there's what we call
Okay.
the alpha plane. Sometimes we do astral projection, knowingly or unknowingly. When I was younger, I just saw myself, I felt like I was freezing, I couldn't move, and then suddenly I see myself outside my body on the ceiling, which was just near, but then I could see myself like thousands of miles away. It's like a speck of dust, but I could see myself. So there's still that thin line that connects me. I did not know it at that
your,
time
your spirit,
to
your
my
energy
body,
to your
my
body.
physical
yes.
body. I did not know it until much later that I was already doing astral projection. So that could happen. Now, if you are not trained in doing that, there's that danger of that line being disconnected, so it might cause your death. Or if you tend to linger in that state, then you can probably end up in a coma.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous also. So that's where the bangungot comes in. Sometimes you tend to probably go to an alpha state without you realizing it, and then you enjoy that state,
view.
the view, because you then see
The
all sorts of
experience.
creatures, the
Yeah.
experience.
But you never go back.
You don't go back,
Yeah.
so that could be bangungot.
Wow, okay.
So it could be partly also the physical, because the Asians eat rice, and it's a possible explanation for bangungot. But not only Asians have that experience, even other nationalities have that experience. I don't think it has something to do with
Like, it's not really something that's like local to us.
yes.
I think it's an international thing, but
Yeah.
it's just categorized differently.
Yes.
Like for us, it's known as bangungot, but for other countries, it might be known as something else.
But definitely one theory is that it's connected somehow to the astral
Yes.
Yes.
projection of a person.
Yes.
Astral travel.
Astral travel. Maybe you don't know it yet, or maybe you are practicing it, but it's dangerous, really.
That's why some people who've experienced nearly becoming,
Yes.
having
Yeah,
bangungot,
yeah.
some are jolted, like it's a
Right.
jolt.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a common experience.
And the common feeling that you cannot move your body at all.
Yes.
You want to move just a little finger, just to know that you're still alive, because you feel like you're trapped. You cannot even move, right?
And a lot of people have had that experience.
Yeah, there are
A lot
people
of people have had
who
that
just
experience.
pray. Well, it helps. If you pray, I did that time. I just prayed.
Because it's scary.
Yeah, I
It's
was so
damn scary.
scared. When I prayed, then suddenly I was able to move like a toe, and then that's it. I snapped back to reality.
A lot of people have had this experience.
Yeah.
This is not uncommon.
Yes, that's
And
true.
people just dismiss it as, I was just dreaming
Right,
or something
right,
like that.
right.
And
Actually, that experience of you, like you can't really move, it's like your astral soul. It's like going back, like fitting back into
but
you.
can't
Yeah.
seem to get in yet,
Yeah.
so that's why the inability to move.
Yeah, it's like you're putting on your trousers,
But
right?
also, we will not dismiss the possibility that it could also be an incubus or a succubus trying to take possession of your body.
Well, that's right. Well,
Could
guys,
also be.
we've run out of time for the show, but I'm definitely going to have you guys again. We're going to talk about tarot cards
Okay.
and crystals
Yes,
and
yeah, the
healing, and
crystal.
also more about
Okay.
dreams on the next show of Philippines
Sure.
Uncut. Thanks, guys, for
Sure.
being on the
Thank
show.
you, buddy.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
very
you.
much.
So guys,
Thank you.
again, 1 hour, 55 minutes. 1 hour is not nearly enough to talk about all these topics, but don't worry. We're going to have another follow-up show with these two gentlemen again to talk about the more of dreams and bangungot,
Okay.
tarot cards, healing, and a lot of more interesting stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Philippines Uncut, Ghost Protocol, Paranormal Investigations Part 2. I'm Buddy Kunanan. I'll see you next week.